What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is a video request from one of my subscribers, brother Raul. Once again, salute to Raul for the $60 donation via the PayPal. And this is one of the questions that he asked me. Um, on this channel, we do a lot of what if scenarios, which there really is no right or wrong answer, but we just find this fun. We find this fun to speculate on these what ifs. What if Michelle Obama was the Democratic standard bearer in this election cycle rather than Kamala Harris? Now, for those of you who are laughing at this, don't forget that there was always some speculation about this. Although Michelle Obama has been very adamant in her displeasure and disinterest for herself serving in political office, she is interested in the political process. But there's always been talk about what if there was a draft Michelle movement for the party. Look, starting in, what was it? Because I've been talking about this for quite some time. Was it, I think, the summer of 2021, I think it was, when I started talking about it on my channel? That's when Joe Biden's initially high approval ratings began to slip from the 60% range all the way down to the 30s. Starting around the 2022 midterms, I think it was, when Biden got a little bit emboldened by the overperformance from Democrats at that midterm, he began to look at it as a mandate for his initiatives and policies. He began to overreach himself. Biden hadn't really seriously considered running for a second term, although he never was directly saying he wasn't going to run for a second term. But the understanding amongst party members is that he was going to be a transitional president. Somebody else was going to run in 2024. He became more adamant, despite the fact that his approval ratings were dropping like a rock, and within the Democratic circle, within Washington, and amongst us as viewers. Even though the media tried to deny it, we could clearly see Joe Biden was slipping physically and mildly on the cognitively as well. So there was always this little talk about, what about Michelle? Because we all knew Vice President Kamala Harris was an empty suit, right? Remember, when Joe Biden dropped out in July after that disastrous debate performance, there was talk about drafting Michelle Obama, but she was adamant she was not interested in running. And so they forced Kamala Harris on the party, and we know what the end result is now. There was a poll that was conducted earlier this year that showed Michelle Obama being the only Democrat actually outperforming Joe Biden, outperforming by a lot actually. And the poll had her beating Donald Trump by a landslide. I think the margin was something around 50% Michelle Obama, 39% Trump, 11% undecided. Now, I'm not certain if she would have won by that margin, but because, as people pay more and more attention to the election, I think the election would have narrowed. But I do believe she had a strong chance of beating him, and decisively, if she ran. Me personally, I think if she ran, she could have beaten him. Remember, this is no longer an electorate that's dominated by issues or policy. It's not. It's become a personality contest. The Republicans want to demonize the Democrats, and Democrats want to demonize Republicans. It's individuals. It's a popularity contest. I'm on Club Blue. You're in Club Red. A few of us are independents, and everybody cursed the day that we don't vote for their particular side. That's what it's devolved to. Let me say this. There's a reason why Michelle Obama despises Donald Trump. Part of it is some of the things that he has said about her husband, uh, questioning his patriotism, questioning his uh, constitutional eligibility to being president, saying he wasn't even born in this country, right? Um, questioning his intelligence, insulting Barack Obama in many different ways. Okay, so as any woman, she's very protective of her husband, and she can't stand him. Also, it's no secret that she sees the election of Donald Trump in 2016 as repudiation of the Obama presidency. Now, technically, it was a repudiation of Hillary Clinton, but her presidency would have been seen to a certain extent as a continuation of the Obama presidency, right? Hillary Clinton and Michelle are two different people. We all knew Hillary Clinton was going to be president someday. Uh, I think when she was in high school and college, her peers said that one day this woman's going to be president of the United States. Nobody said that about Michelle Obama. She has no interest in political office. But let's just say in this situation, as I said before, Joe Biden doesn't run. And let's just say in this scenario, she's pushed because Kamala Harris they just know she's just awful. And she's pushed. And Barack talks her into it. Let's just say Barack talks her into it. I'm wondering whether or not it would have mattered whether she went through the primary process or was just selected, because that could be a weapon used against her. But I don't know if it would have been I don't think it would have been nearly as effective on Michelle Obama if she was selected versus Kamala Harris, because she already has this history of being a person who may not have earned everything that she has gotten. You know, some man has always provided a way for her. Whether you're talking about downtown Willie Brown, excuse me, whether you're talking about downtown Willie Brown, or whether you're talking about Joe Biden, you know what I mean? Michelle Obama has been in the public consciousness now for over 15 years. So, and she was first lady. Now, that's not elective office, but that's being within the Washington atmosphere. And keep in mind, ever since he left office, they didn't go back to Chicago. If I'm not mistaken, they live in D.C. So they've never left the bubble of power of Washington. And you can make, and it's been pretty much a given that the Obamas still are players in the Democratic Party. You could argue that they still are in charge of the Democratic Party. So look, I'll just say this. I think if they were running against each other, some of the weaknesses that Kamala had, Michelle doesn't have. Michelle is a much better orator and public speaker than Kamala Harris. Much better. I mean, to be honest with you, she's really coming to her own as a person. I think when she first got into public life, she wasn't as sure of herself. She was still was kind of reticent about speaking her mind. I think she's at an age now where she's 64. She doesn't give a shit what people think. And she says what she's thinking more. She would have called out Donald Trump Republicans for anything that they say against her, as far as attacks. Like I said, she's a much better public speaker, and she has this, and her husband have it. No matter how you feel about them, they have this it factor. You know, this when you hear Michelle Obama speak and her husband speak, you can't help but feel you're almost enraptured by them. even if you don't like them, you still listen to what they have to say. Either you like them or you don't like them, but you respect them in a way. You know what I mean? Because respect and like not the same thing. You can despise somebody, but still respect them, even if they're a threat. You know what I'm saying? People didn't respect Kamala Harris like that. Yeah, you had people that liked her and, whatever. She had her supporters and people that voted for her because she's this party lead, but it wasn't enthusiastic. I think with Michelle Obama and Obama's back, potentially in the White House, you're going to get black people to vote for her. Now, I know this is coming in the wake of the things that she said that pissed us off, but I'm talking about before that. Okay? First of all, she's going to get black women. She's going to do even better with black women than Kamala because there's no shade about is she really black? Is she adults? None of that's going to be a problem. So her authenticity as a quote black woman is not going to be questioned. I also suspect that brothers would vote for her at a much higher clip. What did she get? 77, 78% of the black male vote? I wouldn't be surprised if Michelle ran, she would have gotten 84, 85% of the black male vote. I'm going to tell you why. We didn't really feel protective. We didn't feel like we didn't have any cultural connection. Well, put it like this. Kamala didn't have any cultural connection with the black community. Therefore, we didn't have any connection with her. You're trying to sell us on her. We don't know who this chick is. We don't know her. We know who Michelle Obama is. We know that the right have said some horrible things about her and used some terrible racial tropes toward her. So, because we do see this as an authentic black woman, no matter if we feel like she don't represent us and all that, at the core of all of us, and I'm talking to black people, at the core, we're still black people. I don't give a fuck about party affiliation. If I sense that you're saying something that is demeaning to me as a black person, or demeaning to somebody that's a member of my race, that shit's going to come out more in me. I'm going to become more defensive of her. Even if she's pissing me off with some of her policy stances. You start attacking her, saying racial things, monkey, and all this other stuff. Okay, now you're pissing me off. Now I'm motivated to come to the polls and vote for her. Yeah, my pocketbook is light. Yeah, there's certain things going on. The immigration issues irritating me. But you know what? Just to piss some of you off, I'm going to vote for her. I could see some of that happening in this situation. So look, there's more of a solidation of Democratic base with her. And I think voter turnout would have been higher, even higher than it is in this election. I do think things would have tightened up. But I think Michelle Obama probably would have won the election. I don't know by what margin, but I think she probably would have won this election. Because the real thing is this, guys. The reason why Kamala lost is because the Democratic base didn't show up. I did a video about that, yesterday, right? The base didn't show up. The base would show up for Michelle Obama, in my opinion. So Trump got, 76 million votes? I wouldn't be surprised if Michelle got 82, 83 million votes and won the Electoral College, I don't know, by a comfortable margin, maybe something close to what Joe Biden did, maybe an additional state, maybe North Carolina. I think it would have been something like that. What would that be? What would that be? 319, 219 or something like that. I think something like that would have happened. I think Michelle Obama would have been the first female president of the United States. But of course, it more or less would have been a co-presidency. And I don't think Barack Obama would have said some of those dumb things that he said, because a lot of that came from the fact that they saw that the black vote was not coming in, or the black support was not coming in at the levels they thought it should come in. Now, I'm saying all of this as a spectator, because I got to remind people, I don't vote for the Democrats. I don't. or at least not right now. But I'm saying this as a spectator watching the game. You got to remind people because they keep thinking, "Oh, so you love Michelle Obama?" But no, I'm just saying this is what I think would have happened. Okay, we got to be more mature as people. We got to be able to listen and observe things and say what we're thinking from a strategic standpoint. It's not an endorsement of Barack Obama or Michelle Obama or Donald Trump or nobody. I'm just saying what I think may have happened. Now, tell me what you guys think would have happened in the comment section. Once again, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Please subscribe. Please share this content to others. And have a Patreon where I talk about these types of things, or actually more not so friendly YouTube topics. On there, we can talk about things that we can't talk about on there. And you can see the link running across the screen. But anyway, see you guys in a little bit.